Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Would love your thoughts on where you think the Saints, with Derek Carr at the helm now, pulling the trigger, stand in the NFC.
I think they're better, obviously, especially on the offensive side. We've talked about him in the past, just when we talk about the overall quarterback. In this offseason, we are heading into the offseason early, last, February or March, whatever it was. But I personally, listen, I think it was convenient for the Raiders, and it was very convenient for everybody to give it the old I confess it was Derek Carr's fault. He's a productive player. As you did. It was I confess he did. It was always his fault. Right now, listen, he self-inflicted, made some mistakes. I'll leave the name out, but I did talk to a person who's coached him in the past. This is the past. Loved his toughness, loved his game, thought he worked. I mean, he was in the same building, loved the way he worked, all those things. But he said, keep an eye on if he gets hit in games against big-time teams in certain parts of the season. This is what he told me. I mean, he wasn't dogging it, but he was very complimentary, but he just said, if you're looking for a possible to get to from a regular season to a January guy, then a January guy to winning in January, just keep an eye on that in December type of thing. So something to just think about as we roll forward. But it's a different conference and it's a different division. And the NFC is easier than the AFC. I think that's pretty obvious to us. So I'm a Carr fan. I think he's a good player. Here's what he is. He's not one of the elite guys, and he's not one of the just a guy. He's in that list where a lot of Prescott, Garoppolo, Carr, Goff, there's Cousins. Now, you could take one or the other. He upgrades the New Orleans Saints. He's more consistent than Jameis Winston. He'll protect the ball more, and he'll give you some fourth-quarter love. Now, the question, and make some really, really good plays. He's an aim small, miss small guy. When he misses, it ain't going to be big, right? We've seen that in the past, and we've seen the real small misses with Drew Brees. Now, he's not Brees, but he'll be an accurate thrower. The offense will move, and he'll take some chances, and he's got some players. But the overall NFC is starting with the division. Every quarterback in the division is different for their teams now. Mayfield, boom. Tampa's got a new one. Atlanta's got a new one. Carolina's got a new one. The Saints got a new one. And when you look at the landscape of those, advantage Saints. So it starts there. Now, we expect big things coming out of Carolina from that young fella and Bryce Young. But I don't know what Mayfield's going to get. I don't know. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I just turn and hand it on a regular basis to Robinson and let him go run, be Rookie of the Year, and do all those things because he was dynamic at Texas. So with that, I do believe it's an upgrade, and I do believe they can throw the ball around a lot. This will be the closest they've had on a consistent basis to Breeze. I'm not comparing him. But as far as the NFC goes, it's an easier path to win this division than it is some of the other divisions. And if you can get in the tournament, and I know I'm looking way ahead, but get in the tournament in the NFC, hell, you got to deal with Jalen Hurts, possibly a Dak Prescott, and some other performers. Hell, I think Detroit's going to win the NFC North. I think I do. I think they are a dangerous team. We don't know much. We don't know how the Packers are going to respond. Who are the Minnesota Vikings again? We know they can score, but they couldn't stop anybody. Can Detroit get stopped? So I think the Saints will be better. And if I was, and I am a betting man, and if I was betting on it, which I will, would I pick them right now to win the division? Yes, I would. I'm anxious to see how the leadership on the team responds to some new players and how physical they are going to be. I lean on that a lot, even though I know it's a quarterback league. This offense will be better and more consistent with Derek Carr.
You mentioned Bryce, obviously. You're there in Houston where C.J. Stroud is going to be the starter. Anthony Richardson has got the nod in Indy. I'm curious your thoughts on this group of rookies, which all look like they're going to play, Sean, and play early.
Yeah, Matt, I don't have a problem with playing them early. I always say this. First off, if you're worried about their confidence, if they struggle, then you shouldn't have drafted them in the first place. I know people, I hear it all the time. Well, Sean, look at Rodgers and Favre. Yeah, well, he had a Hall of Famer in front of him. Of course you weren't playing Rodgers. Oh, Young in Montana. Well, no kidding. Joe Montana wasn't half bad. So Carolina didn't have the luxury. Atlanta didn't have the luxury. Hey, I mean, I'm talking about just the teams, but when you talk about starting rookies, the Carolina doesn't have it. The Indianapolis Colts don't have the luxury. Hell, we don't even know if in Tennessee how Tannehill's going to respond. And will at some point when he's not hurt, will Will Levis respond? All those things. And even with Bryce Young now, getting back to him and C.J. Stroud here in Houston. Listen, if the rookie is going to play the same as the veteran, or the veteran's going to play at times like a rookie, start the rookie. If he's drafted that high, he comes in with high expectations. You've vetted him, you hope. Is there any guarantee? Hell no, there's no guarantee. They're going to struggle, which you better plan on seeing in every game. And early on, they'll make some wow factor plays, and then they'll make some throws that make you scratch your head. But I've talked to coaches in the past, and I've always believed it. I want to see my guy, how he overcomes failure and how he deals with the team and success. And the guys will usually tell you, Matt, you know you've been around it forever. Whether you and I like it or not, players will usually tell you by the way they respond to the energy who should be playing. Listen, you're going to make wow factor plays with Richardson. He'll throw and miss some, but he's going to give you plays that Gardner Minshew just can't. And the same with Bryce Young, that his backups can't give you. Stroud, Mills is a solid player, but you won 3 games. There's a reason why you drafted the guy second, Bryce Young first. So I going into this preseason, I said, for those guys on a daily basis to not start, the incumbent or the veteran guy would have to distance themselves and knock them out in a heavyweight fight in the second round and completely distance themselves in the preseason. If it's close, I'm starting the rookie because I know we're going to go through growing pains, but I don't want to get into year 2 and say he's really still a rookie. And we can't compare him to Mahomes or we can't compare him to Burrow. Those guys are built different. You're going to struggle. So I've got no issue with it. You're going to go through the pains if you're in Carolina, if you're in Houston, if you're in Indianapolis, but you're also going to come out of it saying, damn, boy, that guy can throw it, or Bryce Young's just a football savant. For me, it's not going to be can they throw it. I know Bryce Young can throw a comeback. I know that C.J. Stroud knows how to throw the ball and push the bang post. Can they process the information, all the coverages and blitzes that they did not see in college? They saw more base stuff, and they didn't get a lot of disguise. Now in the NFL, it's different. Baltimore with C.J. Stroud's going to go haywire, giving him every look possible. I'd do it right off the bat. Same with Bryce Young, same with Richardson. It's going to be how they handle the confusion with getting guys lined up right, getting a play out of their mouth, and when you need a check, can you get to it so you're not playing uphill? That'll be the thing. I know they can all make plays. Hell, they've all played in front of 100,000 fans in a stadium. They've all been in the best conference or played against the best teams in America. Now it's going to be, do the guys buy into you, and can you overcome some success you're going to have, and can you deal with getting punched in the face physically, mentally, and emotionally, which will happen. You're going to get booed. You're going to throw picks. Coach is going to look at you sideways in the meeting room, and players are going to bitch on the sideline. But will they eventually give you the best chance to win, even if it's not early? The answer in all 3 of those cases is yes. They are all 3 the best player at that position on their team, just not the most experienced.
It's always great insight. Last thing, the complete opposite side of that coin is Rodgers and the Jets. Are you a believer?
Yeah. Matt, I do my show. We keep our TV on every day. And God love all my buddies at ESPN and all the years I was there. I'm telling you, I've never seen more people create questions for 4 straight months on Aaron. Will Aaron Rodgers stub his toe on the team bus, and will that affect the Jets? Is Aaron Rodgers' dog going to be the mascot? I mean, I'm like, man, you guys built this segment. But
those production meetings are getting a little thin.
You ain't like, hey, let's see. What else can we talk about, Aaron? Hey, listen, is he going to travel next off season? So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy when they do it. But listen, they've got the most talented quarterback they've had since Namath, and he's the best quarterback they've ever had, meaning Aaron Rodgers. You get a tremendous – I mean, I don't know if the result are going to end up what Joe did against, in the Super Bowl, right? I'm just talking about pure ability to throw. I think he's – he's a scorekeeper, Matty. He wants to prove to Green Bay, he wants to prove to the world he can go be an MVP guy. He knows he's got game left in him. It's a tremendous upgrade. You're not going to see balls yanked into the ground like you saw with Zach, who's got potential, but he couldn't grasp it. And then you got a guy people are going to believe in. They've got him weapons. They can defend you. They can run the football, and he's got some weapons now. And now I think it was stale too. Jordan Love, it was time, because I think the speech by Aaron Rodgers in the off-season game, I think got stale for Green Bay too. So hell yeah, it's an upgrade. It makes the AFC East, the gauntlet of quarterbacks in the AFC is ridiculous. The 7th guy is an MVP candidate. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch Buffalo, and it's going to be fun to watch Tua's growth and see how Mac Jones does. But they're a playoff team in my mind, at least going in preseason-wise, and he makes them better because he can put the ball in spots that very few guys can, and he's going to need that in New York, and it's kind of perfect for him. The media is going to be all over it. He'll give them some liners they don't want. He'll do some things that drive them crazy, but they are a much better football team than they were at this time last year. We're talking about a Hall of Famer who's still playing in the prime of his career. Be careful. If you don't pressure the Jets, they don't protect. If they protect him, he's going to cause some trouble in the AFC East, whether you like him or not.
Hey, man, when we talk next Tuesday, we'll actually have some meat on the bone that we can chew
Can't
on.
wait.
I'm excited
Can't
about it
wait.
as well. He is Sean
Hey,
Salisbury. Yeah.
Let's come up with some Aaron Rodgers topics we can figure out that. How many puppies is his dog going to have, right?
He is Sean
I love
Salisbury on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. You're the best. Thanks, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.